Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 in this best of 3. It's the opening day of I-League action. Single elimination is the format. Loser of this series, they go home. VP made a long journey, and so far, they look good. They currently lead the set 1-0, but of course, anything could happen. The old boys, while they may be a little bit unpolished in their mechanical play in game number 1, certainly have that veteran wile going their way, and looking to see if they can bounce back here. They'll be on the dire side this time around. And with that said, I'm LD of Beyond the Summit, and I will be joined here today by a very special guest. His name is SyndereN. How you doing, Synd?
Just as good as before game 1, thank you.
Good.
Not really too much change. This time my mic is unmuted, so I'm really proud of myself. I did well for game 2. Vast improvement.
You're so good, dude.
Thank you very much. I try my very best for you. Yeah, so into game 2 we go. It's interesting to see that Virtus.pro decide to ban Lycan when they're first pick themselves. So it's a little bit of a different approach here. Of course, the Tinker again being banned against Virtus.pro, no big surprise. Death Prophet will be banned by OB, and the Razor now by VP. So they've basically swapped around their bans a little bit, apart from the Lycan who did get banned this time. I don't remember who was the 4th. It was Brewmaster in the previous game. That was the 4th ban instead of the Lycan. So different approach for VP. Maybe they want the Brew.
Yeah, Brew's out there. Also, Bat Rider, I think, was banned on the 2nd stage last time around, but a pretty potent support, pretty potent ganker to deal with the Nature's Prophet. So something VP do run from time to time. We'll see if they go that direction, but I want to point out, they get Jadam's Mirana. I'm thinking it's Jadam's anyway. We did see G play it last game, but generally VP run it as a support. Well, it could go either way. We'll see. Now VP immediately ban out the Visage. They waste no time with that. Teams are just getting more and more scared of this Drow Visage duo, it feels lately.
And the thing is, in the new patch, it will be even better, because both those heroes are actually getting buffed. So we might see it getting even more play. I believe the familiar drops get 4 seconds less cooldown, and Drow's Frost Arrows scale a bit better toward level 4, at which they're the same. So it's going to be interesting to see if that becomes, like, even bigger than it is right now. It's obviously used to kind of be a pocket strategy for Cloud9, and then it became a stable strategy for Cloud9, and now it's becoming a stable strategy for a lot of teams, so yeah. We won't see it this game, though.
It's just, I just find it so interesting, because Cloud9 had run the Drow Visage for some time, like, dating back well before TI4. It's not like they just discovered it. Then Chinese teams never saw fit to run it. There's a few Western teams that dabbled with it, but it wasn't that popular. They came to WEC. They used the Drow Visage strat there. They did really well. They ended up winning the tournament. And then for like 2 weeks after, nobody in China was using it. Then all of a sudden, one day, Vici Gaming just started Drow Visaging. And now everybody in China has been doing it. Well, old boys didn't even think about it this game, but they're not a team I've been casting. But all the other big teams have been turning towards it. So, well, the Drow's out there, but there's no Visage, so unlikely we see that. The Brew will be banned out by VP on the 2nd stage, and this does leave still plenty of teamfight control here. If OB wanted to, they could look at like that Faceless Void Scarth Mage duo. There's still a Doom lurking, though he's been a little bit less popular in the Chinese scene lately, and I'm curious to see what direction they'll go with this draft. They ban out the Bane, frustrated by his performance last game, and well, they deny some arrow setup here for VP.
Yeah, trying to... You know, this is the thing when we went into this match that we were talking about. We don't know how well these teams actually know each other, especially how well VP knows OB, but maybe OB also not too familiar with VP's playstyle and their drafting, but already from the first game you see OB adapting here a little bit with the Bane ban, and VP... Well, they're kind of adapting to themselves. I feel like they banned out the Visage they did great with in the previous game, and now they also banned out the Lycan that they actually beat in the previous match. So they're still adapting one way or the other. The Viper pickup here for OB, I'm not completely sure what direction they're planning on taking this. If they want to play an early mid-game pushing kind of style with Prophet Viper, maybe another pusher. I'm thinking Shadow Shaman is a possibility here. Or if they just want a tanky front line and then have a hard-hitting carry behind this. There's a couple of choices right now. And as for VP with the early Centaur pickup, it just looks like they want to run in and they want to start taking fights. So I'm imagining lots of team fight coming their way. The Void you were talking about is definitely still an option. I think mainly for the Dire side with the Skywrath, but maybe not so much anymore. It's not too great together with Viper. I feel it's okay, but
Yeah.
There's not... Viper isn't a burst kind of hero. It's more a sustained damage kind of carry.
Yeah, with Void, you just want to kill heroes in Chrono. I'm even wondering if VP consider like an Invoker this game. He's generally fallen out of popularity and is pretty vulnerable to the early roaming pressure that a Scarth Mage and Prophet can bring to the table. But if they get an early Centaur Blink and they have an Invoker Ancient Apparition, at that point you're just sniping heroes all over the map. So it's an option for VP. G certainly an excellent Invoker player, but we'll see if that's the direction they want to go. What else does G play? He plays TA, but that's normally on the Dire side. I mean, it could still be a G Mirana as the other option.
Generally don't want to lane TA against Viper. When you see Viper third pick, it's not awful, but playing TA into this lineup, there's the Epicenter, the Sandstorm, the
Mystic
Scarif Mage
Flare.
ult,
Yeah.
and there's Viper. You can maybe deal with the Scarif Sand King, especially if you get a BKB, you can just ignore everything, but even then, Viper is going to bother you a hell of a lot, so... I'd be surprised if they go for the TA, but I think it's you and I who used to cast some games where there were some really questionable TA picks. I think it was...
That was leading into TI4, yeah. There was like 4 or 5 games where it's like, why are you picking TA this game? And of course they lost every game, but...
yeah. But no, I'm thinking for Virtus Pro, either a teamfight initiator like Puck could really work well together with the AA and the Centaur, or they look towards a carry mid laner. Maybe God's Shadow Fiend could be pulled out in this game. I don't think it's too poor of a matchup. Viper's a little hard, but if he gets some support rotation early on to help him out in the lane, he should be doing fine against pretty much the rest of the lineup with an early BKB here.
Man, I am looking forward to the new patch. With Shadow Fiend got some buffs, but that Arcana set, I gotta say, is... it might be the first Arcana I actually buy, man. It's pretty gorgeous. So I'm hoping just because of that set, teams pick him more. Shadow Fiend is just like one of those classic mids, and it seems like from the patch notes that Bottle Crowing's a lot less viable and less useful in general, and that's where heroes like Shadow Fiend maybe, well, they can. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm just hoping that hero finds his way back into the metagame. I miss seeing like those high skill cap heroes and. I don't know. The exciting triple raise first bloods are always fun to watch. But that's a story for another day. We'll see a Weaver ban out now by VP. And wonder what OB go for here as their last pick. They've got their supports. They're probably looking at a safe lane farmer, maybe a mid. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm a little puzzled by the Weaver ban because I feel like VP have really good heroes against it. They've got like 4 stuns and burst. So... they could have dealt with it. I think it's from a laning perspective. So either they're expecting OB to run an aggressive trial lane with the Sand King Skywrath +1 and then Prophet safe lane, and they're worried that they could lose that lane to a Weaver. Or they want to run an aggressive trial lane themselves, and Weaver's the one hero they don't want to run into because it's too elusive. The AA Wraith King combination is so incredibly powerful when you hit the stun that the Cold Feet actually triggers on pretty much every single hero who does not have either a repositioning ability like Blink or a speed ability like Shikuchi. So maybe that's the reasoning here for VP. So if you're OB, you have to respect this lane. I don't think you can win it at all with the heroes they have. It doesn't matter what they put on it. They're going to get a Lifestealer, which is another interesting solution, so they can rage out of the combo. And maybe with that they can do it. But if any of their other heroes gets caught out, he will probably just die to this tri-lane of VPs.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting Lifestealer pick, to be honest. You've got Stampede to kind of deal with him. Mirana's pretty mobile as a core. Age Apparition normally sits very far back, and well, you also still have that Shatter effect that can go through Rage from his ultimate. It does match up fairly well against Wraith King, I suppose, and the one main thing that I do like about Lifestealer is he lanes very well against a Centaur if they want to run him in the safe lane. So, that may be the thinking here for OB.
I think it's going to be an aggressive trial lane from VP regardless, though. Even if the... because they'll probably play the Mirana as the core in that lane, and then Wraith King AA, it's going to be easy for Mirana to get last hits. There's not really much contesting to be done by OB. Skywrath has pretty bad base damage. Sand King can't come in close because then he can get caught out by Wraith King and AA, and Lifestealer will get harassed a lot by the ranged heroes in the lane. So I think running an aggressive try here for Virtus Pro, especially on the Radiant side, makes a lot of sense, and they could actually win a lot off that, because the trade-off they also get is they get a Centaur against Prophet, and that's a good lane too for the Centaur. With the return, he should be perfectly fine in that lane, and then they just need to get a good mid laner against the Viper. I'm not sure what they're thinking about that, though. There's not many options of someone who beats Viper one-on-one.
Yeah, okay, that just happened.
Okay.
Chilling touch plus Meepo is disgusting.
I still feel like this hero is underrated. Even though he's getting way more play, I think Meepo is such an incredibly good hero. He's kind of broken in high-skilled pubs, and I'm not saying that's the guideline for how good heroes are. It's just that if this hero starts taking off, he just tends to get completely out of control. Oh, we have disconnects.
Yeah, VP having some issues here, but, well, it gives us a chance to just look at the Meepo pick this game. Well, oh, also he got some changes in 6.82, I believe, right? They fixed something with boots for him, I was reading.
Yeah, from how I understood it, the change is only a convenience change. That's how it might. There was a little bit of uncertainty when we did our analysis, but from what I understood, what I gathered from the chat at that point was that the only change it did was a convenience change. So, you know, if you have Meepo, all your clones right now will have the boots in the top left slot regardless of where your main has it.
Mm-hmm.
And it got changed so that the Meepo clones now have the boots in the same slot that the main one has it. So it's just easier to micro if you're a player who doesn't like having the boots top left.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's it.
That's, well, I'm sure some Meepo players will be happy about that, but ultimately not really a buff directly. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams then. VP, it's Meepo time for them. We've got Yol playing the Wraith King. That puts Sadoy onto the Centaur War Runner. He'll probably be taking this aggressive tri-lane role. Jotun will be our H apparition. It'll be a G Meepo. I'm not sure if I've ever seen him play it in a match. And this will leave BZZ on the Mirana. Meanwhile, on the side of the old boys, you've got some veteran Chinese Dota 2 players. DD, last seen with a solid performance at TI4. Zhou, who's been out of the scene a bit longer and commentating, playing the Lifestealer. Xiaowei, retired but now unretired for 15 days, supposedly on the Viper. This will put our Skywrath mage. Well, we might have a clash. Oh, we will. Xiaowei, he's a little bit slow to back off here. Gets caught by a stun. Arrow's going to come through. That connects. Xiaowei's going down here, it looks like. But the question is, do they get a return? Stun, follow-up, yeah, for the Centaur. Xiaowei will go down. Now the chilling touch damage is applied, and Zhou gets chunked down. VP winning a team fight at level 1. This time, a clean win for them. Last game, it was a 3-for-2 with one hero denied to the pit, and basically a dead even trade, but... yeah, to finish around our introductions, we've got 820 on the Skywrath Mage, and that does leave Long DD, formerly of the old DK, will be playing your offlane Atrus Prophet. Well, Synd, first blood, and it goes the way of all heroes, it goes the way of the Meepo.
Yeah, this is the perfect start for VP, and I think if you look on paper at the two lineups facing each other here, there is no way in hell that OB can take that level 1 fight. The level 1 potential of this VP lineup is just absolutely incredible. So many stuns, chilling touch on 5 heroes, all this lockdown burst. There was no way OB could take that fight, so expected outcome there that VP get the 2-0, and like you said, Meepo with the first blood will now start with boots in the mid lane, which is a really good pickup here for God. It gives him more potential to move around the lane against the Viper. It was either that or going for the fast bottle, and I think he puts a lot of faith in his last hitting skills here, because if he doesn't get a couple of last hits early on, this bottle is really far away now.
But they are up here on top lane. They're going to get the courier that was coming up to the lane. It didn't actually have any... oh, it had Sentry Wards on it, as they dive Zhou as well. So VP will get a kill, but they've given up a courier for this. Now the Wraith King of Yol trapped in pretty far. He's out of tangos here, and they should be able to finish him off one way or another. 2-hero Burrow Strike. They're going to leave Yol there while they focus the others that can retreat. 820 with one more nuke would finish BZZ. He'll try to deny to neutrals, while DD is also in pursuit of the Ancient Apparition. But BZZ will end up being able to get out, and finally they go back and collect their free kill on the Wraith King. As Nature's Bravo is thinking about a teleport, but Long DD decides not to port in. Man, that was a rather awkward situation the Wraith King found himself in, but they lose their Sentry Synd. That means that this ward will be very useful for the next 3 minutes for OB, and on top of that, they do give up a kill there on the Wraith King.
Yeah, I pretty much had 1 FPS during that, so I have no idea what went on. I've been dealt a bad server this time for me.
You should try reconnecting.
I'm trying reconnecting. This might be better. It looks like it's better now, hopefully, but...
top lane. Action on the Yol. He gets caught out as Zhou goes onto him with Rage. He'll try for a TP out here. Does he make it on time? Not gonna happen. DD Burrow strikes him and turns it as Sadoy is pursuing out Long DD bottom lane. He's got a point in double edge now. He'll stomp. He'll get a few auto attacks off here. Not sure if he'll have enough for the kill. He's getting blocked in. Long DD. You gotta micro this one, man. He's just standing and fighting. He just gives up. He'll get the trade, but he just stopped even trying to micro a move. And, well, he didn't have the boots, so I guess he wasn't really going anywhere in the end.
Yeah, he probably couldn't have got away, so making the trade there, I guess, is the best he could have done. But, of course, the trade easily favors the Centaur, who gets the experience. by getting the first kill there. So he's now a full level ahead in this bottom lane. And even more than that, he's actually 1.5 level ahead of
it was just funny because, like, as it turned out, he couldn't have run with the no boots disadvantage, but, like, he tried to run it first, blocked it with his trans, like, whatever, fuck it. Let's just duke it out. Meanwhile, mid lane, G does have a second Meepo, and he's going to start stacking the jungle. Bottle's ready, and he'll have to walk back to get it. But fortunately, he's Meepo, so he's got a free courier.
Yeah, that's true. He's actually... He got 10 CS in 3 minutes in the mid lane against a Viper, which I think is really good. So, the one weakness Meepo has is until he hits level 3, at which point last hitting gets a lot easier, obviously, because you have 2 Meepos to use. But he got a lot out of the one Meepo he had early on. He's actually going to try and Xiao 8 right now. First net goes down, second will follow. Is there 2 poofs? Yes, there will be. Or actually only
There's
one.
Only
now
one.
He's in trouble.
He might get turned on. Xiao 8's low on mana, though.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, if he had that secondary poof, I at least would have forced Xiao 8 back, but lucky for him, Xiao 8 only had enough for one more poison attack, it looks like. And I guess the nice thing for G is that even though he's harassed a lot by this Viper, like, there's no way for Xiao 8 to stop a defensive poof out. So, although he may get out CS, he can still stack his jungle, and he probably shouldn't die unless the support comes to gank. So this is a pretty... I mean, not the best matchup for Meepo, but with First Blood and the early bottle, he's doing fine. Already has a double stack out and about to make it a triple.
Yeah, he's going to be perfectly fine the way this is going right now. He'll probably be able to get level 6, if not 7, from that stack very soon after getting this lane here. And even though the top 3 CS are going the way of the Dire, my main concern for them is they don't have a good way of dealing with Meepo apart from Lifestealer, in my opinion. So there's 2 ways to deal with Meepo in my book. Either you have great AoE control. Oh, top lane, actually, y'all's going to get initiated on. He's turning it on DD here. Is there an arrow?
Yeah, he's going to go into Sandstorm, but they have the sentry they used to D-ward, which DD saw just happen in the top lane. I guess he didn't know exactly where the sentry was placed, but just kind of stood there and took it. But
that was a little odd.
They had the ward here, and it got D-warded, so you got to assume there's a sentry nearby, but... either way, it was just an odd engagement from OB. Like, they went in the... Oh, they're going to go in again. They're looking for BZZ. No leap for a few seconds, but they stun DD. Leap going down to 1. It doesn't have the mana for it. Look at the return kill on BZZ. While meanwhile, bottom lane, I'm just watching SyndereN pursue out long DD. If he can get in range for... Oh, no, he doesn't have mana for Stomp. And already used the Stampede, so... He'll just back off.
Yeah, but he's still... Actually surprising that he's not winning on farm here, considering he got the first kill. He's pretty far ahead on experience, but farm-wise, they're tied up here in the bottom lane. But the point I was trying to make about the Meepo here is, I feel like if you deal with Meepo, either you have great AoE control, or you have great single target damage. Having a lot of AoE damage is not really particularly useful, because the only thing that matters is that you kill one of them, right? So you just need good focus fire. Lifestealer and Viper can do this to some extent, but Lifestealer, when he's out of rage, he's just going to get completely locked down by a good Meepo player. He'll just be ensnared the whole time. And they have ways of dealing with the slows to get him out of trouble in the first place with the Stampede, like we talked about earlier. So I think even though the farm is going the way of the Dire here and they have a 1500 gold lead, this is the kind of game that I think Meepo can really shine in if he keeps going the way he has so far.
Yeah, Stampede and Chilling Touch is just such a nice set of supporting abilities to give the Meepo in these fights. And he's really good at bursting heroes low, which is where your Ancient Apparition could be very useful to finish them up. So I will get somewhat trapped in bottom lane by Xiao 8, but he'll simply TP away. He'll be absolutely fine, while DD will make his rotation and might actually get caught out here, you know, with an Invisor and is hunting him a bit. He's going to run into him soon, but while they're busy going for this, the bottom lane gets pushed in hard, and DD continues to retreat, so he is at least buying a bit of time. Well, y'all will find him now. There's your Raid Fire Blast. The Chilling Touch damage will follow this up. We'll go into Sandstorm. Meepo on the hunt. He burrow strikes through the trees. It was a really nice maneuver there by DD, and it's going to force a ton of wasted time. They'll even Stampede to chase him in a bit quicker. And DD, well, he'll just head to the Radiant base. He just
needs to buy 15 seconds for the Sandstorm.
Oh, this ain't happening. Yeah. But space created. They'll take the tower bottom completely undefended. And it forced 4 heroes to chase him around while that was happening. And hey, they'll take the kill, but I think that's about as good as it gets if you're going to go down.
Yeah, pretty good trade overall here. Going the way of OB, and again, this early game, even though they're behind by 2 kills, they've got some decent farm. I think in particular the Lifestealer lane went maybe better than I would have expected for OB. Joe is actually out farming the Mirana quite a bit here by about 10 CS with the aggressive trial lane. And with VP having a 2-0 level 1 fight, you would have thought the tri-lane is definitely going their way, but just a couple of turnaround kills that that OB got in the top lane has allowed Joe a lot of farm. And he is probably the biggest threat to the Meepo when Stampede is over, because he can actually lock down one and kill. Oh, nice arrow from BZZ top lane. Joe had no way of seeing that coming. That's a great kill here.
Yeah, Lifesteal is generally a tough hero to get an arrow initiation on, but I guess it came through the tree line send.
But they're trading a tower again. So
they're playing around this Nature's Prophet really well in general.
Yeah, both Long DD and Xiao8 very experienced players on this hero, so when they pick it for this roster, they can put it on either of them, and they just know that they're going to get a lot of value out of it. And so far, Long DD, even with dying in the lane, he's provided a lot of utility by taking these 2 towers, and he's been more impactful than the Centaur so far. I'm still waiting for that blink for SyndereN, but it's pretty far away. And now with a mech on Viper too, I think it's just time for OB to push lanes.
And let's not forget, he got a solo kill earlier on the Nature's Prophet. He ended up dying, but still, when you see that first kill go in the way of the Centaur, generally you expect him to snowball, but the tower gold is making up for it. And now OB will group up towards the top lane. Also do want to mention, they went for a bit of a smoke gag top, but they have no detection for Moonlight Shadow, so that was a wasted jaunt for them. They'll push now instead. And with this, your Sankei will work his way towards his Blink. Xiao8, already the completed mech, can just start building his treads, maybe his Aghanim Scepter. Meepo is not online yet, but G is still farming pretty well. He's keeping up with a Viper who's now taken down 3 outer towers. He's almost even in terms of net worth. And we'll just have to see if they keep on pushing this one instant. It looks like they want to.
Yeah, if there's no contention for the tier 1, why not just go for the next one? They're actually maybe even diving on SyndereN. If they force a Stampede, they will. Wow! Nice arrow there by BZZ as Joe tried to run in. But OB will keep on pushing. They've got the Treants here. There's no easy way into this fight. No Wraith King ultimate yet, and all they can do is double-edge creep waves. They're not even split pushing. The Meepo just isn't farmed enough yet to make that happen quickly. He is working on the bottom lane, but they're not taking objectives while split pushing, I should say. And now concussive shot. They wanted it to go the other direction onto the Wraith King. Unfortunately, it heads top instead. And arrow, having a fish, will be dodged. Just a little bit out of range. 4 towers down in 10 minutes, man. And this didn't even look like that hard of a push lineup. It's a Prophet and a Viper. Good pushing heroes, but yeah, there's no Death Prophet, there's no Shaman support, and they're threatening a 5th tower. OB, going for like the 20-minute GG, it feels at the rate this game's headed. I think it's a big problem that Virtus.pro aren't trying to take this fight. I know it's hard, but you can't just concede 3 towers like this without getting any trade. If they don't want to fight, don't stand there with your heroes. Get some split pushing done. Now the initiation comes. Hey, all this is going to get well.
Hits everybody, but they're tanky, and they survive through it for a time. They get the counter kill here on the Wraith King, who's still delayed as level 6. Now G arrives, though. He's found a net on 2. Are the follow-up Meepos enough to turn this one? They will bring down Long DD. He's chopped down by the little pitchforks and Courier.
Flies over the fight.
It's like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna leave you guys. So, a 2-for-1 in the end. Tower in deny range, actually, if they want to go for it. But they do start to get the Meepo a little bit more room. He's now got money for a point booster, working towards the Ags, and that H Apparition ult was nice. It's just they didn't have that much AoE follow-up to make Hero shatter.
I would actually like to see G getting a Blink Dagger first here, because I think the way this game is going right now, the
also,
will be
I just want to mention, Wraith King bought back in that fight as well.
What was that?
Wraith King bought back in that fight, actually.
Oh yeah, he came back too. So, is he getting close to level 6? Yeah, he'll get it now. So next time he won't have to buy that. You all know with the reincarnation. But I think if Meepo finishes the axe now, he's peaking too late, or not peaking, right? Because the problem is he needs to come online earlier than Meepos usually do because of how much they've lost here in terms of map control. And if he goes for the Ags first, I don't know if the initiation power that the Radiant has is enough. SyndereN will not be getting his Blink for the next fight. He has 800 gold only. And the Wraith King obviously will not be able to initiate either. So either they have to rely on a good arrow from BZZ to open the fight, or Meepo has to get the Blink. The Stampede opener, I think, is too suicidal. They're going to need that to reset in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And if they don't save it to reset, then Meepo can, just one Meepo can get caught out by Burrow Strike, and suddenly the fight can fall apart. Bottom lane, no way to cancel this TP, though.
Actually used the Viper Strike there.
Yeah, they don't have a Blink on their Sand King yet. It's actually quite surprising, considering that it's 12 minutes in and they have 4 towers, but he just hasn't spent any time in the jungle, really. Only 11 CS.
And he died 4 times as well.
No,
Pretty much every single fight, he gives them the opener and then dies.
That'll do it. BZZ is in position, though. He's going to scout out this Roshan attempt. And it's going to be a very slow Rosh.
This Invis might actually outlast the Rosh if they reinforce this Roshan kill.
They're going to bring in reinforcements. Right,
this could be a really big fight for VP, or a big snipe here from BZZ if he does get away with it.
Chaprish all comes in, but Burrow Strike was there on SyndereN, and BZZ gets off a nice 3-hero Starfall. The arrow not going to connect after. Do they chase forward? Yeah, they do. Getting the slow on 820 now. No Mystic Flare yet. He can't do much. Mech won't save him, and now the Meepos have gotten onto Xiao 8. The net comes in. The follow-up damage will be here from Chili Touch. Easily killed off. Now DD in an awkward position. Where are you going, my friend? Nowhere fast. That was questionable.
Uh-oh.
Well, they might be able to take this Aegis. They've got Meepos. They don't want to risk it. Buyback
I think they need to be really careful now, VP. It's 5-on-4 granted, but they've used a lot of abilities here. They don't have mana on their AA. They have Ice Blast only. And that perhaps is going to save this Rosh again. Johnham has to hit a good one again. And maybe they can get in with... no Moonlight Shadow. The Sentry this time is down for the Dire Side. So I still think they get the Rosh, but at least for VP, they managed to get 3 kills there.
Well, yeah, are they going to contest, though? They're still near the pit like they want to. Still no Blink on Centaur, no Stampede. But they're close enough to contest, but not actually doing it. Oh, they want the Wraith King in first. That's what they're waiting for. They want him to come in with Reincarnation and potentially turn this fight. And he will throw out a stun. Yol has the stick charges. Aegis snapped up immediately by the Lifesteal, who charges onto SyndereN. And the Meepo just kind of sitting back, waiting for his opening to join this fight. SyndereN dropped low. There's an ultimate cooling down soon. Burrow Strike forward will finish off the Wraith King. Who did not actually have mana for his Reincarnation in that fight. It looks like now a teleport forward as G tries to retreat. Joe really getting aggressive here with the Armlet online, and the Rage, he jumps in onto G. The Burrow Strike prevents the TP poof out, and it'll end up going down. And they get a couple of kills here. Yeah, I guess he never popped his stick. He never got to use his magic stick, the Wraith King.
Yeah, that was a little bit strange. I think this might have been on purpose, actually, because VP wanted to disengage and maybe they didn't want to waste the ultimate. But at the same time, if you're looking to disengage, maybe you just sacrifice the Reincarnation, slow down the enemy team, and then get out. So, a little bit of a weird turn of events there for VP. And easily a victory for the Dire, of course. They managed to get the Roshan, they managed to get a couple of kills as well. And now, the Blink Dagger on Centaur comes up at a... not the best timing, but also not the worst, but the Sand King has it as well. So it's kind of like they even each other out because they get them at the same time. Both teams now have good initiation and counter initiation at their disposal here.
And now the Nature's Prophet has a level 3 Necro Book. So we're getting to that point where he'll have to pop his magic stick like right before he's about to die for Yol to have any chance of getting his ult off. And that's a tough position for Wraith King to be in. But he does have
He's upgraded it to a wand, which is really important.
Yeah, that's much needed for the extra 5 charges. OB will smoke. They're going to clash here momentarily. VP are in probably the worst position. About to be revealed. They're going to find the Meepo in the jungle. G caught out by a Burrow Strike. Now the Mystic Flare split between 3 Meepos. Really doing very little. Epicenter follow-up. It'll be enough to get the kill. No buyback on G. Yol does have his ultimate ready, though. And look, Zhou taking decent damage here as they're wrapping around the long direction from the Viper. Another stun onto Zhou. Remember, he does have the Aegis. He'll die once. Now comes back. Sand King just waiting in the wanes, has no mana for anything. He runs in, and he's like, I probably shouldn't be here. Runs back out. Centaur gets off a stomp, focusing Xiao 8 down. He can't pop the mech yet. He needs to get that mech off just in the nick of time. At the buzzer, Xiao 8 will be brought down. But I think with the mech being popped there, it'll be enough for them to get some additional kills. Jotham TPing out. Yo will go down a second time.
Wait, what?
No Reincarnation again.
He had 140 mana. What burnt him there? I saw him getting the ultimate off...
The Necro Book wasn't there, right?
Gone, right?
Yeah. Huh.
That was really odd. I saw him reaching 140. I saw the Reincarnation flashing from out of mana to available. And then it didn't pop. There must have been a last hit from a blue Necro that then disappeared or something.
Yeah, I thought it was... I didn't even see it, honestly, but that's the only way it could have happened.
What the hell?
Yeah, and he did use the stick as well, so... He did
Instant
everything
replay,
he could.
Please, production.
Yeah, that's only in Dota TV for now. Someday they'll have it in live, I guess. Well, anyway. The Wraith King continues to struggle, but obviously key to that fight is just jumping the Meepo immediately, and they did end up having to burn their Aegis there, so... You still see the power of this VP lineup. If they can just win one good fight without an Aegis in play, get some golden experience, then Meepo might get out of control. I think like you said, OB really don't have the best Meepo lineup, but they're just or anti-Meepo lineup, but they're just far enough ahead to be able to take these fights right now. As they jump in mid lane, Stampede initiation with the follow-up. Blink Stomp goes on to long DD. He'll pop his Necroboke before going down, but now the backup comes. They're looking for the backstep here. Zhou, he'll be the first one in. Sentry Ward gets dropped, looking for BZZ. Silence, then the Burrow Strike, killing off the Centaur. Finding 3 heroes as G gets caught and nearly finished off. He's able to poof away in the nick of time. Well, to the north side, they'll retreat on BZZ, but Prophet's coming forward. Sprout completely off the mark. He's just left to his own devices, surrounded by the Meepos. He'll go down, but G will sacrifice his life for that, so they get another kill on the Meepo. The rest of the team able to retreat out. Do they push high ground now?
There is a buyback on God. They need to be careful with this because if the Wraithkin gets a good initiation here, Y'all still has the ultimate, by the way, as we talked about. They can easily open. Oh, or get opened on. Oh, this is going to be pretty bad for OB. I think they used Rage as well. Great AAL too.
Hits on 2. DD now caught up by Wraithkin Stun while BZZ leaps forward, gets the 2-hero Starfall. Well placed, and that'll be 2 kills going their way. 3 now with the Nature's Prophet death earlier. Sand King just able to blink away, dodging that Wraith Fire Blast, but Zhou might not be so lucky. He's got a Rage ready, though, so they'll need this arrow to come through, and it just might hit! Oh, Zhou playing with fire. He'll make his way out, though. That was close. The good news is,
unlike going to be a tower as well.
Unlike the Cloud9 games at TI, the good news for Tongfu is there's no bounty hunter. So VP definitely gets something out of that fight, but not that crazy influx of gold that Sing Sing was receiving back then.
They're still going to at least claim the tier 1 here, which is a big deal, but they also paid a buyback for this. They paid a buyback, they used the Wraith King ultimate, so that's down for the next 3 minutes. And I think if you're OB, you might just want to try to push again immediately, to be honest. Either that, or you need to control the map. They've got excellent warding. So many aggressive wards placed by the Dire right now. 3 in the Radiant, or 2 in the Radiant jungle, 1 at the Roshan/Rune spot, and 1 aggressively above where the tier 2 mid used to be. So they have all the control in the world to find these ganks on G, for example, if they want to, and it looks like that's exactly what they want. But they walked across this ward in the mid lane from VP.
Well, Sid, it seems that OB are seeing the same time you are. Immediately grouping up mid lane, they're going to push through. They've got the Necro 3 ready to go. Viper, just the mech, though, hasn't picked up an Ags or anything else. And one thing we could see from OB is just try to use Rage to siege. Go hit the tower for 2-3 seconds, then back off and reset. We'll see if that's the plan. Long DD, Necrobook now deployed. They don't have the fastest pushing lineup here, but they're going to go in immediately. Centaur stomps there, finds out Xiaowei, but they need follow-up damage. Long DD being focused, but now Zhou with the Rage is able to turn an Epicenter. Beautifully placed, shatters the Meepo's, dead for 50 seconds. Oh, even with the decreased respawn time on Meepo, it's not enough, Sin. This probably is... Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Sidoi gets the double-edge initiation, but didn't get the 2-hero double-edge splash, so only gets the 1 kill. Now they'll lose Yol as well. No ultimate for him. And that's 3 down. They'll double buyback on Centaur and Wraith King. The tower's going to go down. Glyph will hold this off a bit, though. VP hold the line, but it's an expensive hold for them, and this Sand King is 10-5-3. Compare that to the Sand King performance last game, and it's just night and day.
Yeah, that was still a nice hold by Sidoi, to be honest. The initiation he went for there, that it resulted in a 2-for-2. Oh, wait a second, they're actually still going. Oh, what a burrow!
3-hero burrow by DD. Absolutely sensational. As 820 gets 4-step, preventing that follow-up damage from VP. Now the turn can come. Jottam caught out. They'll end up losing him as well, but they may lose him on the side of OB, who've stuck around a long time, allowing VP to respawn. The Meepo now up, and DD, that great defensive 4-step, helping to keep his teammate alive, and then making his own way out of the fight. Man, this guy is absolutely sensational. He's almost as farmed as the Viper. And this is a Sand King who had a very late blink. He had 11 CS when his team had 4 towers at like 12-13 minutes. Man, he's just been such a huge force in these team fights.
Yeah, it seems like he picked up on the mistakes he made in the first game and has avoided making them this time around. And at the same time, it feels like the lineup that OB are running this time around, it's just more clear-cut how the fights are supposed to work out. Zhou goes in the front line with the Lifestealer together with the Viper of Xiaowei, and then Sand King has all the time in the world to set up these epicenters. So it's a more natural Sand King game, I want to say, because they have other means of initiating and just forcing the fights to happen on their terms. But the most important thing that actually happened in that mid lane fight was it looked like the initiation from VP was going to be really good, but the Ice Blast only hit 1 hero. and I think they only hoof stomped 1 or 2, and it's not good enough. They need a better opening than that if they want to combat the Dire team right now.
Yeah, especially against the mecha. Even just the Lifestealer's ability to, once Rage wears off, still tank up a bit with your open wounds, and as well as Feast. Like, they've got a lot of regen on this team, to be honest. The mech as well, and, well, even the Urn for DD potentially can be used to sustain these pushes. But if the Ice Blast hits 3-4 heroes, then that's not the case. And good news for VP Synd, Jadab is halfway to an Ags. If he can farm an Ags and the Meepo is able to get an item or two more, they might just be able to insta-gib 3 heroes with an Ice Blast, Blink in, or Quintuple Poof. But yeah, that's assuming they get the jump, which is obviously not given.
Well, I still think VP's lineup is going to do perfectly fine if they sustain for the next 10 minutes and Meepo gets really big. If they don't lose map control, if they still farm, if they get one good fight right now, I still think they're totally in it. Of course, OB in a massive gold lead here with 14,000, but gold graphs are a little bit weird when you're playing against Meepo. It's such a unique hero where you can overcome big disadvantages if you get the jump on your terms, because your hero is just so incredibly strong if it gets to be played the way it's meant to. And
well, Long DD has been caught out by the Meepos top lane, and they'll just pile onto him. 5 Meepos. Meanwhile, there's no Meepos for the team fight at the Roche Pit that's about to transpire. BKB popped by Xiaowei, Rage by Zhou, but they're going to kite away from this nicely with the Stampede. And in the middle of the entirety of OP will be Yol, who's going to drop to this one. The Meepo's trying to work his way back to the fight. He'll lose the Wraith King ultimate. It's a level 2 ult out, though, so it's not particularly long on the cooldown. Still 2.5 minutes. They'll get the secondary kill on Yol, but the rest of the team made it out. This gives G time to rotate back to the pit. And he did get that kill earlier on the Prophet, who decided to buy back and force this one. So they're going to look to take this Roche, but with that Prophet buyback, it seems like they're putting more and more pressure on this next push succeeding.
Yeah, the way God played that kill on the Prophet actually cost them a lot there, because he ended up poofing in all 5 Meepos, and he could have easily killed the Prophet with just like 3 or 4, and kept one of them around the Roche Pit, because I think they knew it was happening, right? They were already getting down there with the rest of the team. So getting that kill on the Prophet is great, but he can't commit his entire army up there, and then they get stuck on the other side of the map. So that misplay ended up costing them the Roche. I think that's a fight VP can actually take if one of the Meepos is still in the area. Especially when they get to use their Wraith King ultimate like that. A lot of focus was put on him, and he slowed down the fight a lot.
Zhou, he's already used Rage. He smacks the Meepo once and then just backs off. But yeah, to follow up on your point, I'm pretty sure it was the main Meepo that he left behind originally. He brought in 4, and he's like, oh crap, I don't have a blink on any of these, and I couldn't get in range. So that, they almost get caught out by Sankey rotation. But so then he's like, well, I need this kill. So then he brought in the last Meepo. He didn't have time to wait for Poof to cool down to send one regular Meepo back. So I guess at that point, given that he brought the 4 non-main Meepos in, it was just a choice between either not getting the Prophet kill or not having anyone at the Roche Pit. And
yeah,
I'm not sure which was the right choice, but with the Aegis up now in Xiao 8, OB might be looking to show him that it was the wrong choice to go for that kill at that point.
Yeah, BKB on that Viper as well is going to make him a really tough target. I think they're going to just try to go in here because they don't want to lose the lane of Rax, but, well, maybe not. Looks like they're just conceding the ranged Rax.
Arrow just dispels, it just ends like inches before DD. Now Burrow strike in on Yol. Remember, he's got no ultimate for some time. Viper will BKB and stand strong, and Chi just explodes. This Meepo is way too squishy. He's forced to buy back and try to turn this one around. Yol has no ultimate. They're not even going to bother chasing, just focusing on SyndereN with Zhou and DD combining there. G back into the fight, though, looking for round 2. The BKB on the Viper's down. Zhou has Rage up. He might just be able to dive in. If they can just get an Opa Wounds, potentially they'll get this kill. While DD trying to pursue out the Wraith King, but he ended up making his way back to base. They'll lose their Aegis. They'll lose the Lifestealer. This next
is ready.
Arrow connects on Xiaowei from long range. He's got no magic immunity. I don't think Epicenter's enough, Synd. He's not even going to bother. But that was, again, an expensive hold.
Yeah, exactly. It's an expensive hold, and how much do they actually hold? They still lost their ranged barracks. Yes, they hold the melee, but this is the point when VP need to get a collateral. Something needs to happen. They've taken 1 tower in a 27-minute game with a Meepo. They have to find all this unclaimed gold on the map that will bring them back in the game, and I just don't know if they can do it. Even if they win these fights in their base, they're so far pressed in on their own side of the map that there's just nothing to be gained apart from the fight itself. There's no tower in the proximity, there is no Roshan available right now. So even though this trade maybe slightly favors VP in terms of experience,
Gee, you can't die now. Epicenter, Mystic Flare combo. This should be enough to kill off the Meepos. That's a dead Meepo for 75 seconds. This has to be the melee Rex mid.
Yeah, there's no way of holding. They can't fight without the Meepo. He is the vast majority of their damage, together with the A ultimate if that lands well. And it's already been used. He tried to secure the kill, now another BKB coming up, and these BKBs on the dire side is something VP just don't have an answer to. Meepo is decent against BKBs because he can just hit pretty hard, and Geostrike is, the passive ability still goes through, but they don't have the damage. They can't kill these heroes in BKB now.
Do they even maybe... 2
lanes, I think.
Do they... Oh yeah, I was just thinking, do they even get 2 lanes here? They've got the Necro 3, although it will not dispel. But Joe is pretty strong at this point. With the Reaver up, he's nearly completed a heart if he wants to buy it. And they're just going to mash down on this bottom tier 3 tower. 5 heroes, 3 will get hit by an Ice Blast, but still no Meepo to really follow this up. Arrow's fishing, but it's not going to hit that infested Radiant Creep. Just passes harmlessly through. While Xiao8 just calmly stands on the front lines, tries to kite and control Yol a bit. Joe, really ignoring him, he's going to rage to dodge a stun. Now continues to smack the racks down. That's a second melee racks down, as OB now want to back out. They may lose 1 or 2 on the retreat, but still the damage already done. They'll drop 820. Do they get more kills though? Centaur, Stampede is ready. Will charge forward. Does blinks past where long DD was. Now going on Xiao8, who BKBs and TPs out. He'll end up surviving. Zhou may be pursued out here a bit more. Wraith King has no blink dagger. They do have that point blank arrow. If they can just hit him with this Ice Blast, if he doesn't rage in time, oh, he will. But he still might shatter here to auto attack.
He's still dead, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go down. And the
That's
Meepo's
one thing
back up.
Armlet can't deal with. That's the AA ult. You can't really do any sort of Armlet magic with that on you, so... Joe definitely died there, but... It's just too late for VP now. Now we're getting to the state in the game where I felt like Meepo could have taken over, but OB just took great control of the game in the last 15 minutes. They got the objectives they needed, and maybe most importantly, they didn't really trade ever. They always got more, or they always got something for nothing. If they traded anything, it was kills for buildings, but only losing the mid-tier 1 in the first 25 minutes is a pretty good accomplishment in this game for them, and it just seems like VP at this point, even the Meepo, who has 250 CS, seems really starved because of those... Is it 3 buybacks now we've seen from G? At least 2.
At least 2. And 6 deaths as well. Like, he's also just dying a lot in general. And sure, Meepo does respawn a bit quicker, so deaths don't really hurt him quite as much as other heroes, but that's 6 deaths on the hero that is by far the most important for your team. They do have their Ags on Ancient Apparition Send, and he has hit level 13. So he's got the level 2 ultimate. I'm just not sure if it's enough. But to me, this is the one item that could potentially turn the tides for them. If they get a really good Ice Blast, 4 or 5 poofs onto multiple heroes, that may be enough. We'll just have to see if VP get that good fight.
It's good to see them being on the aggressive here at least, and not just hiding inside their base, because that's going to bring them absolutely nothing. They need to find pickoffs and then try to make something out of that. But here comes the Flower Army. They're going to see absolutely everything that's happening.
Yeah, they're terrifying beasts. Flowers that smack you. Not very fun for any gardener, I imagine.
I'm wondering what BZZ is saving for. He could buy a Manta right now. He's got 2,300 gold, so he can easily buy Manta and a buyback, and now he does it. Okay. So does want the Manta style. I don't know if that's cost efficient enough right now, to be honest. I think they might have needed a little bit more oomph here of some sort.
Yeah, there's some good stuff you can Manta dodge. You can remove that Skywrath Mage Silence and also dodge like a, maybe a Viper Strike, but...
Open wounds.
It's still... He just doesn't hit very hard.
No.
And that's kind of the worry, I think.
Because the thing is, the way these fights are developing, the whole time OB will just go for the Meepo whenever they can. And if there's a secondary damage source who get to deal damage because of that, it's pretty good. And don't get me wrong, I mean, Manta does deal pretty good damage, but it's mainly starts scaling really well when you have another item that gives you good stats, so that the illusions get very strong. And right now, I would have liked to see even something like a Maelstrom, although there's, well, with 2 BKBs, it's arguably not a good choice either. Maybe there just wasn't a better choice. Maybe a flat Crystallis would have been good, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like an MKB or Crystallis, something like that, but... yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sure the Maelstrom would be that great. Double BKB, and there's also Rage on Joe to consider. Yep. So, a lot of Magic community. Do want to mention that Sankane was forced to pop his BKB. He got Ice Blasted, and he's the gem carrier. I actually like that play by DD, even though he didn't really need to. He's the gem carrier for this team, and against a Mirana, and when you have this kind of lead, You want to keep those aggressive wards up. You want to maintain map control, so... It might have looked a bit silly by him to those who have the omniscience of the observer view, but I think that's really solid play overall. And with that, they'll maintain their map control, and I think this next Aegis should be it, Sin. That's going to be the time for OB to try and force a game 3. They're very strong right now.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit surprising that they're waiting for it, to be honest. I think they have what they need, and it looks like they might try to go at this point, looking for an infest gank, maybe on the Mirana in the top lane. Manta Style is on cooldown, and there's no vision here for VP, so... Yeah, BZZ is in a lot of trouble. He's probably totally dead, actually.
Well, unless he just keeps on running.
Maybe not.
The
Unless if they don't get the initiation angle.
It might even be worse if this Meepo
Oh, if they find G, they find G. They don't go on G.
Yeah, I guess feeling like the follow-up just wouldn't be there in time. Would be nice if they had like a Hex or some other lockdown along DD, but he's also got BKB here. So they would only have the one stun to try and focus that Meepo down. But Roche will respawn any second now. In fact, it's just respawned. And OB, you gotta imagine we'll be going into that pit momentarily. Now here's the question, Sind. Do VP risk contesting this? Do they have to contest? Or is it better to just sack it?
They have to. It's their best chance of getting a comeback in the game. It's where the team fight is set up in an arena where they have a pretty good shot at hitting a good AA ult and at hitting a good hoof stomp. Of course, they risk that SyndereN gets a great epi off, but if you look at the previous fights, that's kind of happened anyway. So, I mean, they might as well try for the big play, because if they play it passively, they're losing by the minute, and they're not getting any objectives. So, with a big team fight in the Roche pit, perhaps they can also get the tier 1 bottom and slowly start to get some momentum from there.
Working on the Roshan now, they'll be spotted out by the H Apparition Ice Blast, and that is an Aghanim Scepter upgraded one, so long DD gonna be a very sad panda for another like 12 seconds here. Walk into the pit. It also debuffed A20, and they'll start to focus the Roche anyway, but Ice Blast will be down for 18. Probably enough time for them just about to finish off this Roche. They would like to have the Lifestealer here. And yeah, now he's there. Working on the Roshan. It'll be a reasonably quick one. I guess there's just no contest for VP.
Yeah, they're not in a position to do it, unfortunately, for them. This was... They knew it was coming, but the lanes are just way too pushed out right now from OB for them to get really any sort of opening here. But they might get a snipe on... Oh, this is pretty close on the Skywrath. I'm still going to be fine.
Yeah.
But...
He'll be low, though.
Again, no trade-off. Every time OB get an objective, it just seems like they're trading it for absolutely nothing. And it's just their superior vision, the split pushing from the Prophet, just giving them
well,
so
here might be
space.
the trade. It's long DD caught up top lane. The Meepo army descends. But they did invest their initiation for that. Now the Meepo trying to TP out, gets caught. Burrow strikes there. Follow can come from the Epi. They can't afford to lose G, but now he just goes for a secondary TP out. Well, no, sorry, a poof deeper. And the rest of OB not really chasing him yet. Burrow Strike will come through. This is going to hit 4 or 5 Meepos when he wants to drop it. Mystic Flare. Wait for the Burrow. He's holding on to it. Maybe worried about a TP retreat out. And he's just sitting inside a Sandstorm. Now he'll unload the Burrow Strike. They'll lose G. He does a buyback. Oh, Ice Blast. Oh, that'll be 1 down. SyndereN blinking out. But at least he died far away from the base. So he might not have to blow his buyback this time.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. There's 2 dead heroes on the Dire side. Skywrath out for pretty much the same time as Meepo, although Skywrath is level 14 and Meepo is level 24. But you know, short respawn time on that 30% reduction for Meepo. It's pretty insane, actually. So, well, what are we looking at now for VP's hopes to come back into this? Meepo has 3k gold, so either building a Hex or a Skadi. I'm imagining he might consider the Hex here, actually, so they can get some sort of surprise jump on either the Lifestealer or on the Viper. Or maybe even the Sand King. If they can get that, that would be a great jump. But at the same time, maybe he has to get the Skadi for the extra stats, since he has to tank up against this lineup, it seems. He's just not surviving long enough. Arrow?
Yeah, he's really not. Rage from Joe. They'll look to bring down this top tier 3. This will be the 3rd melee racks if they can claim it. Meepo up in 6. They'll have double Meepo for this fight if they need it, so a total of 10 that can come to the fight. The question is if that's good enough. Viper's pretty damn tanky. He's got Aegis, he's got Ags. And along with that, Zhou up to 2,500 health, Hyperstone out. He can complete his Mjolnir if he wants to. They're going to Moonlight Shadow and look for a jump in. We'll say I can't be caught out here. He is the gem carrier. No, he's BKB's a little bit too quick. DD was. They'll lose the Wraith King ultimate, but everyone's magic immune aside from Xiao 8, so they don't really care about this too much. The arrow will connect on a BKB Viper, doing very little. Now G jumps in. They're trying to focus him down, but it's not much of a focus fire. The epicenter only dropping him to about 2/3 HP on those Meepos. Now coming back for round 2, Xiao 8 will be surrounded and poof! Slammed into the ground. He'll go down. Triple kill for the Meepo. That's without even having to use a buyback this time. And they'll lose their Scarith as well. It's 4 heroes dead. The lone survivor is Long DD pushing that bottom blade. Now the Meepo's completed Hex. Let the comeback begin? Question mark?
The moment God gets to play his hero for 5 seconds, the team fights just end. Like, it's... This hero is so insane, I swear.
Don't call it a comeback, Sins. Don't call it a comeback just yet. But he's getting there. He's the leader of net worth now, despite all the buybacks. And
oh, he might even find the profit here. If they want to go for the next... If G wants to go for the next camp and Long DD has the same idea to go for the bottom left one, he's going to get caught out. Now he's going to go to the lane. That's even worse. This is a very easy kill for G. Oh, okay. Good presence of mind there.
So what do you do now if you're OB? You just had Aegis. You were pushing in like what seemed like your strongest timing over the past 6 or 7 minutes. Aegis got crushed. Do you wait for the next rush? Do you just start playing Rat Dota? What's the game plan here? Seems like the brute force approach. Oh, maybe this is the plan.
I think this is a good plan.
Oh, catch out G. He'll go down to the Lifestealer right clicks. Really had no shot.
He might have actually lived there if he didn't TP, but it was a little bit of miscommunication there from VP because the Stampede from SyndereN would have allowed him to run out. Then he could have got his Blink off cooldown and maybe got into the tree line somewhere random where Senking wouldn't find him and then TP out.
That's true.
He could have lived there, actually, but it's like half a second you have to make the decision and he tries to the TP. It's just an instinctive play, and now he has to buy back once again, but with the scythe available, with Infest used, perhaps they can take the fight, but yeah. I'm not sure why he's holding on to the buyback here. He kind of has to just blow it. There we go. A ultimate.
They'll want to get something with this. The Wraith King stun will come out onto Long DD. Now they'll leap in from your Mirana. BZZ trying to focus him. They stomp him as he sprouts himself. Teleport out can come, but he's just going to auto-attack and go down. Really no way he gets out of there with so many VP heroes in the neighborhood. So it's a Meepo buyback just for the Prophet's life. And now they'll have 5.5 minutes where if that Meepo dies, he's got to be dead for, I don't know, it's going to be like, what, 90 plus seconds? Even with the reduced buyback? Or reduced death timer.
We're talking a lot about the Meepo, but slowly but steadily, BZZ is starting to get big here. And that's a problem that the Dire will... They have a hard time addressing this Mirana with their lineup. It's so centered around the Lifestealer and the Sand King just being melee heroes and running in and starting the fight on the Meepo. And as I talked about earlier, Mirana is kind of uncontested in these fights, so BZZ will now be getting a Daedalus within the next 400 gold. And at that point, even if the Meepo gets killed, if he just gets his Hex off and gets some good poofs,
oh no,
it's possible that BZZ
This can't happen. This can't happen. G's been caught out bottom lane. The Rage Lifestealer brings him down. 80 seconds on the sideline, Sind. Is it enough?
Oh, that blink from SyndereN was way off the mark. He's gonna die too now.
Great BKB there. If they lose the follow-up from the Centaur, BZZ tries to stand and deliver, but Joe just rages. He's getting focused down, but they'll lose the Mirana for this. Mirana buys back immediately. Wraith King gonna drop now. It's a triple buyback for VP. Wraith King coming back for life number 2. The rest of the team's gonna run to get into this fight. There's no buildings even near where the tier 3s once stood to TP to. And by the time they're even able to get towards the fight, the Wraith King's down. So it's gonna be a 3v5 with the with your Lifestealer coming down the middle lane for 35 seconds. I think that's too long.
This is Megas. This is game right here. There's no way of coming back from this. Even...
I think you were right. If they had been able to just wait out for the Meepo's buyback, Mirana gets farmed. Like, I could have seen VP turning this, but with the Megas now, it's going to be next to impossible.
Yeah, they will try to get Joe again, but this time around I think he will be able to use the cheese. There's no AA ultimate on him, I believe, so... Oh, it's going to be close!
Oh, cheese gets popped! Oh no. That's it. That's all she wrote. With Joe, he's the one hero who, well, he used buyback in that fight for OP, but GG will be the call from VP. We're going to a game 3, Sid. Pretty bloody game number 2. 40 to 32 your final kill score, and from start to finish, a fairly action-packed game. It looked really good for VP at the beginning. They got first blood on their solo mid Meepo, and things just didn't go their way. And I just go back to that, I don't know, what was it, like 5 to 15 minute mark, OB took 4 or 5 towers basically for free. Was there anything
and
VP could have done at that point?
I think VP actually had the tools to try to fight it, perhaps. Just conceding them, or at least, you know, either... What VP ended up doing was that they had like 4 heroes standing behind the tower, not defending it, and Meepo split pushing a lane. Like, either you try to defend it with your heroes, or you concede it and you push 2 lanes. Or you push all 5 heroes in another lane and try to get a trade or force TPs or whatever. But at the end of the day, VP just wasted a lot of time in the early game, and then they picked up well in the mid game when AA got level 6 mainly, but it was still, they were at a pretty significant disadvantage. They lost the Roshan fights, they lost the Roshans, and even though Meepo did fairly well in this game, he needed to have more at the 40-minute mark with 400 CS. If you look at his items, usually when you see heroes with 400 CS, we're looking at almost a full inventory, and G had a Blink, an Ags, and a Hex.
Yeah,
so
that's like your, I don't know, 20,
really
25, like your 25-minute Meepo farm, generally, if not even a bit less. Like, it's not bad, but for that stage of the game, he was a bit light. And guys, with that wraps up game number 2. This is a best of 3. Your deciding game for our first set coming up next. Winner of this moves on. The loser is eliminated following this match. We'll have PR, Power Rangers, another CIS representative here, versus Rave, the Korean squad, and, well, the winner of that best of 3 will play the winner of this one on day number 3. I'm LD, he's SyndereN. Thank you for joining us, guys. Beyond the Summit's coverage of the I-League LAN Finals continues after this. Stay tuned.